Stalingrad, a name that echoes with desperation, brutality, and unrelenting combat. Over 90,000 German soldiers surrendered in 1943, but before that, they fought until the bitter end. Why? Why didn't they break or retreat when all hope was lost? To understand the German stand at Stalingrad, we need to start at the top with Adolf Hitler. By late 1942, Hitler had taken almost complete control over Germany's military decisions. Stalingrad wasn't just a city, it was a symbol. Named after Stalin, Hitler wanted to crush it to prove Nazi superiority. And once the battle began, it became a personal matter. Even when the Soviets surrounded the Sixth Army in November during Operation Uranus, Hitler refused to allow a retreat. He issued a direct order: the Sixth Army will stand fast. This wasn't just strategy. It was about pride, propaganda, and Hitler's refusal to accept failure. Some in the German high command knew the situation was hopeless, but Hitler was convinced the Luftwaffe could keep the Sixth Army supplied by air. In reality, they needed around 500 tons of supplies a day. But on average, the Luftwaffe could only deliver 80 to 100 tons, often much less due to Soviet anti-aircraft fire and brutal winter weather. Soldiers quickly ran out of food, fuel, medicine, and ammunition. Wounded froze to death. But retreat was forbidden. And the myth of a successful airlift kept hope alive just long enough, until it was too late. Once the Soviets completed the encirclement, the German Sixth Army was trapped. Over 250,000 men cut off in the city. Field Marshal Paulus requested permission to break out. Hitler refused. He even promoted Paulus to Field Marshal, knowing no German Field Marshal had ever surrendered. It was psychological warfare. The message was clear: die with honor or live with shame. The Germans weren't just fighting the Soviets, they were trapped by their leadership and ideology. German propaganda told soldiers that if they surrendered to the Soviets, they'd be tortured or executed. Some feared what the Red Army would do to prisoners, and in many cases they were right. Meanwhile, Nazi ideology preached that surrender was cowardice, and that Germans must fight to the death. And let's not forget the SS political officers embedded in German units. Their job was to maintain loyalty and eliminate dissent. In that environment, giving up wasn't just dangerous, it was considered treason. Despite everything, some German soldiers still hoped for rescue. They believed relief must come. A breakout, reinforcements, or an armistice. But it never did. By January 1943, the Sixth Army was starving, freezing, and out of ammunition. But many still refused to surrender until ordered to, and even then, some units kept fighting independently. In the end, over 150,000 German soldiers died in and around Stalingrad. Of the 90,000 taken prisoner, only around 5,000 ever returned home. So why did they fight to the last man? A mix of Hitler's obsession, broken logistics, lies about rescue, fear of Soviet capture, and a military culture that valued death over surrender. Stalingrad wasn't just a battle, it was a turning point. And for many German soldiers, it became their final chapter. Thanks for watching. If you found this story compelling, consider subscribing for more hidden history of World War II.